Welcome back, guys, to Factorio Recursion. This is episode number 18. Today, we're going to try to work on adapting one of our new little module systems to make a green circuit module. Get rid of this guy from outside the base and put that stuff inside the base. I did do a little bit of an update on the bridge we worked on last time. I'll show you that. Then we'll get to work on the meat and potatoes. So, people mentioned, and I had thought of this as well, that you can actually remove the inner section of the gates and still have them trigger on the outside. It was kind of unfortunate that we couldn't see the cool colors, and it just looked less detailed. We have the cool light stuff going on, but less cool, like, you know, colory stuff, detail stuff. So I tried to find a nice harmony between both worlds. The only problem, if we remove this many of these wall sections, or the gates, then you can't actually trigger all of them running along down the middle. You can see there's kind of a gap there. Because these guys are too far. You can't, if you run along one side, of course you can just do one side. But that's kind of boring. So the other option is to restore that much and just to have the inner part of our road be that wide. I think that's kind of going to have to be the best of both worlds. It's a bit unfortunate, but I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. We still have to add in the sound systems. I'm not gonna fill the whole thing in right now. I just want to run through and take a look at it. Let's see. Let's just add in these first two so we can get a decent run, decent segment of the lights and the colored concrete and all that kind of stuff. See what it's like. This might be the best of both worlds. The compromise. We've got the cool colors. You can still see them on the map. I think that's a good thing. I like the map detail stuff. And we've got all of the lights activating. Well, sort of, until we get to this section where I'll have to fix it. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think the road is now in a pretty good state. In a future episode, we'll probably add some of the sound system stuff. Fiddling around with some silly things after my brain fries from trying to get all this stuff to work. So, a couple episodes ago, we added these guys, our smelting modules that smelt 5 belts at a time per one of these factory building Mark IIs. We're only doing 4 right now because that's all the ore we're bringing in. In fact, we're probably, if like we were really cooking at full steam, probably not even bringing in that much ore, probably not. And the copper on the same side, and they're bringing all of the plates into the middle here. The steel eventually will go into here. It'll consume 5 of these lines and produce 1 line of steel. But all the iron and copper is coming in here. We're going to need to put down probably this building, maybe this building, whichever one fits better. We're going to, oops, meant to do that. Yoinks! We want to consume some of our copper plates and iron plates and turn that into green circuits. We're going to be limited by the number of ins and outs that we can use for each of these buildings. So it's good to consume stuff to free up more of those spots so that we don't have so many of these copper and irons going out, and we can free up some of these spaces for green circuits, because eventually, I mean, even though we can recursion all this stuff, we're still going to run out of room. It's going to be hard to fit everything in. But first, we need to come up with a layout. I've done a little bit of work just getting some basic ratios. So here's basically 3 different options for the number of beacons. We're going to have speed modules in the beacons, of course, and then productivity modules, 4 of them in each of the assembly machine Mark IIIs. And just as a refresher, the way you figure out how many of these things you need, how many assemblers running at full clip to fill a blue belt, you take the crafting speed of the thing you're making, which is 0.5, and then you go to your assembly machine and you look at the crafting speed. So you divide 0.5 divided by 0.5 divided by 5.5, you take that number and you divide it by 1.4 to add in the productivity bonus, and then you multiply that value by 40, which is the number of items that a blue belt can hold per second, and that tells you how many assemblers you need for this setup. This is my notation, so I don't have to keep like punching numbers in the calculator every time. This is 2.6. The lights are decimals, decimal notation. So this guy will need 2.6 assemblers to fill up a blue belt. Kind of awkward. This guy will need 2.1 to fill up an assembler. That's a little bit better, but I would prefer to have full belts if we can manage it. And this guy, he has the maximum amount of beacons around him, and he he requires 1.8 assemblers to fill up blue belt. The only thing is we need to supply them with copper cable, so this setup is going to be more complicated than our simple smelting guy. And copper cables make 2 copper cables per operation. He's going to be going at the same speed as this guy. And looking at this, there's so much math in this game. My brain really does melt sometimes playing this game, and I have to take a break. So we need 1 iron plate, no big deal, and 3 copper cables. But this guy's going to have 4 of these productivity bonus guys, and that's going to provide an extra 40% copper cable. So instead of 2, he's going to be making 2.8, very close to 3. It's an almost 1-to-1. What that means is this guy is going to be going, what, like 7% slower or something, if this guy is supplying him at max clip, because he's not quite fulfilling 3 per operation. He's supplying 2.8. So that means this is going to be slightly slower, which means it's going to be very close to 2, which means this is the one we're using, okay? This is the one we're using, at least the number of beacons. We need to figure out a layout, which I haven't done yet. So that's what we're going to do now, or at least attempt. Maybe we should probably do it outside of these buildings first, and then try to figure... Whoops! So spacebar does that, and X swaps your bar. Sometimes my finger kind of... I mash it a little bit, and I miss. Okay, let's pick these up. I think we should do it outside, or maybe just do it in a bigger factory building where we have more room. Yeah, maybe we do it in a bigger factory building where we have more room, so I don't have to worry about laying down power poles and stuff like that. In fact, we could just do it in a big one. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and we can just make a blueprint of what we have so far to save ourselves some time. Laying this back out and figuring out the number of beacons. We'll try to figure out if we can make it more compact, although that's not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is getting it to work properly. We know the math kind of works out. That's one thing. Getting all of the assemblers and the belts to make use of that math, that is another thing altogether. We've got room for a belt there. We might be able to compact this by moving these beacons up 1 space. This guy, I'm not exactly sure if 2 of these green assemblers, or green inserters, will be able to carry the cable over. We'll find that out as well, I guess. Okay, so let's see. This one, Zibadoop. And then he will need that. All right, a little bit of an update. Here is the beginnings of a design that works. I was taking a look at the math, the numbers for the stack inserters, and these guys swing 2.3, unless these numbers are no longer accurate. I think they're still accurate. These guys swing 2.3 times a second, and we've got a, that's the wrong button. We've got a stack inserter bonus of 11. The base is 1, so they can swing 12 items per swing, 2.3 times a second. So almost 30 times 30 items per second these guys can carry. It is pretty crazy. Or transfer, 30 items per second. These guys are filling half a belt, which is 40 items per second. So 20 items per second, this stack inserter has to be able to output. This guy has to be able to input. We've got room for more inserters here to insert more iron, and more inserters here to insert more copper. Problem is, I had a really hard time trying to find space to output the green circuits, and we're going to have to do something like this, where it comes out of this spot right here. Because we had to make it more compact, I needed a way to get the copper onto him and the iron onto him, so we had to stagger these guys, which means the beacons have to be more compact. But making it more compact is a good idea, so we can fit more of these modules inside of a factory. And in addition, our base, our factory guy over there, it's got the iron smelting and coming from the left to the right. So this belt up here is the iron, and it's going to the right. And our copper is coming from the right to the left. So this belt is the copper. It's going from the right to the left. So that should harmonize nicely once we start plugging these guys in. The only problem is this is very awkward for tiling these guys, because I would like to have this kind of thing where we have the next guy immediately underneath there to make the best use of our beacons. They're extremely power intensive. Like, I'm already using, well, we can't see from out here, but I'm using like 440 megawatts, just not even doing anything. But anyway, I do have a blueprint here Now, let's go lay it out. Okay, so... Not going to fit in this guy at all. He's not going to work. That's fine. What about... Oh, this is the guy who has our ratios. Yeah, let's not overwrite those just yet. This guy's empty. So, let's see. If we had the outputs going this way... And we need a little bit of space. I would like to tile this as much as possible. We could do it like this. And then we would need an output space. Maybe we could stagger that. Yeah, we don't have room for outputs on that side, so that's not going to work. There is one other option, which I have considered. Let's go ahead and pick all these up. We'll go to a brief change to what we were doing. Pick up on that. Okay, robots, jump inside my body. We'll go back to where I was making the design. Okay, so instead of having this guy go out the butt, the reason I had it going this way is because if we have a belt outputting here, and we're going this way, there's not enough room for the above ground belts to be linked up together. We've only got one space. But if we... Oh, I have to disconnect that all together. If we, instead of having them go out and connect like that... Let me just use a robot. It's faster. We could have it go out sideways, but not in a linear fashion. They both go towards the outside like this. So it could be like that. And then the other half will go out like this. That could be our blueprint, and then we'll have to worry about balancing later, but I think we should have enough room. Let's update this blueprint. And go see if there's room for this one. Okay, we were messing around with this guy. And with this idea, we won't have to rotate them around. We can just plop this guy 4 times. We can get 4 belts out of this factory building Mark II. That would be super duper. Looks like we can. All right, another update. My brain is starting to heat up, but no steam just yet coming out of my ears. So yeah, we need actually, if we're going to produce 4 belts of green circuits, we need 4 belts of iron. We need 6 belts of copper to turn into all that copper cable. So that means we're going to need more room on the right for the copper. So if possible, I would like to move this whole thing 1 space to the left. All right, another update, and I've just realized I've made a fairly significant mistake. We don't need all of these copper belts coming in here. We do not need 3 to 4 balancers because we're using productivity modules. It's so easy to make like one little mistake, and it throws everything off. We're getting 50% more copper from the productivity modules, more or less, in essence. So that means we don't need all these belts. We just need 4 coming in from the right and 4 coming in from the left. Oh, man, the math, it fries my brain sometimes. Okay, so we need to simplify this a bit. All right, I think the design is done. I am a little bit concerned that 1 stack inserter will not be enough to output enough. Theoretically, just doing the math of how much they can carry and how fast they swing, it is enough, but we've only got 1 outputting, and there is that little split second where he stops outputting and then he swings back around to pick more stuff up, which will create a gap. So I kind of think we're going to need to add a second one at some point, but I want to test this first because this is a lot of theory in action that we need to stop being hypothetical about. We can do an output there, a second one. We would have to do something like this to separate these guys. That would work. Let me just, but we're not doing that right now. So that would work for the right side. To get the left side out of here, we would have to do something, I guess like that, and then put an output inserter there, and then have to sync up the belts. That would complicate things. I might have to shift the whole thing back over 1 belt just to see if that works. But let's find out if we actually need to do that yet. We can always work with blueprints. I have a blueprint made for it right here. The green circuit module. 295 blue belts, 210 speed module, 64, blah, blah, blah. All those items. Let's see if it works. Okay, so heading back into here, we're going to plug it in and see if it works. Into this guy right here. For now, we'll just plop one of these here. like so. And we'll put a label in him like that. And then we will need our blueprint. I don't know if I have enough stuff on me. I don't have enough beacons. There's no way, right? We'll go get more in just a second. If my base has made more, it should have done by now. Oh, it looks like I need more underground belt skis as well. Oh, I did have enough beacons. Okay, what am I low on? I am only empty on underground belt. I think that's actually it. Oh, okay. That should be an easy fix. So let's go grab some underground belts. Recursion, unrecursion, unrecursion, unrecursion. Then we'll go back into this recursion. It's not really recursion. This is just one factory. Okay, underground belts. Just grab all of them, I guess. Yeah, I think we should be fine for everything else. Run, run, run up the belts. Back we go. Into here. Okay, so then, let's see. The inputs we need are the... Wow! Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have to finish this guy. Okay, finish up. The inputs we need are the top 4 on the right and the left, and the bottom 4. So here's outputs. Here's inputs. For now, we're just going to cut off everything else. So, whoops, that's the wrong belt. We'll just do this kind of thing. Like that. Like that. And we'll try to supply it all up at once. And then we will need a decent, some kind of like basic storage kind of thingy. There we go. Kind of similar thing. And then for this, let's pick up from here to there. Can I do that whole thing with one underground belt ski? Oh, we can't. Oh, it's lovely. Okay. Move this over. Yeah, we'll need a way. These lines are going to get backed up, like, basically, as soon as I plug all these inputs in. And we want to see if the belts, if the belts are compressing properly. I don't think they're going to. That's my hunch anyway. I think we're going to need to add those second stack inserters, but let's find out. So let's just add some storage, I guess. Let's back up. Back up. Let's do it like that. And then we'll need some stack inserties. Oh, that's the wrong one. Like this. Actually, I don't have enough of these, do I? Yeah, we're going to need to go grab some more. One thing I ran out of. I should have grabbed more while I was down there. Oh, well. Oh, yep, hello. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Eventually, we'll add a logistics system to that, so when I run inside that room, I'll just have it logistically set to give me so many. When I run inside, we won't have to go to each individual chest. But I'm going to wait for that until we've remade our quality of life, all the different items I need space. Okay, so then we just need to put down chests. And these should be able to suck up all 4 blue belts if all 4 blue belts are indeed getting compressed, or even if they're not. There we go. And I should have plenty of ore backed up because we haven't really been using this. All those guys are hooked up. Oh, we need to increase this guy's power output quite a bit. I'll just put it to 200. Oh, okay, so this guy needs to be increased as well. Okay, and maybe even... What's this guy at? Oh, that guy's at a gigawatt. Okay, we don't need that much. Oh, control. Yeah, right, control. Control to reduce, shift increase. Okay, so last thing to do is to hook up the guys. I should have enough power. Whoop, quickly. And then get inside to watch the magic happen. Here we go. Is it working? It's working. But is it compressed? No, it's not. Yeah, there is that gap. Okay, I was right. So, in theory, the math says that they should be able to transport a certain number of items per second, which is more than half of a belt, but there is that gap in time when they're swinging back where we will need the other one. Well, after much belt routing and much steam coming out of my ears, I think I have it worked out. We've got double stack inserter output for every green circuit assembler. I think it all works. I did little tests here and there. Let's plug the rest of it in the real inputs and see if it really works. And if we are now compressing the belts instead of having those huge gaps, we shouldn't have, the inputs should be fine. We should have enough ore backed up so that we can run this for a little while. And we'll see how these outputs go. Here's one side, and maybe it'll take it a second to catch up. See if everything... This guy seems like he never empties out, so that's good. Oh my god, look at that thing. Now, what is the issue? It does seem like it is not running continually. And the belts are indeed... They don't seem to be compressing. Now, what's going on in here? Everything's getting eaten up. I think there is some kind of, like, transportation issue somewhere within the belts or the routing. I think they're just... What are they running out of? They're running out of copper cables. Which I guess makes sense, because this guy, in theory, should be running faster than this guy, because this guy's not getting quite enough. But according to my calculations, this should be compressing belts. I'm not sure exactly... Oh, let's check the power. The power seems to be fine. We can even bump it up even more to see if that makes a difference. We do see this belt right here is backed up. And it's getting eaten up on the other side. Okay, so why is this one belt backing up, but the others are not? This guy's not even making... This guy is... Yeah, he's full. Going out this way and this way. These two assemblers should fill up one belt. And that's what they're doing. Why are they... Oh, I see the issue. Because this... That's not working. Okay, so I just had the balancer set up wrong. Yeah, there is some kind of issue. I'm not sure exactly where the bottleneck is here. This guy seems to never fully empty. Is it possible that we need 3 of these inserters running full time to get this guy to go a little bit faster? That would need an entire redesign. We would have to go with a different beacon layout. That's not going to work. We are not compressing 4 belts. I don't know exactly why, but we're going to have to... I think we're going to have to end the episode here because I've spent a pretty good amount of time on this. Let me know in the comments if you know where the issue is. I think it might be with the copper cable guy. Because this is where I'm seeing that it's emptying out and slowing things down. The iron is continually full. Copper cable does empty out, but that was by design. We knew that from our calculations that we would need slightly less than 2 assemblers to completely fill stuff up. And it seems like all the belt routing is correct. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. I'm going to have to think about it. Maybe try a different design later. But that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you next time. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.